Good to see you.
Hey, Jessica. Oh, wonderful to see you. Did you shush me? Is this going in the blooper reel?
I didn't shush you. I was going to make a comment about your shirt, but it looks familiar.
Thanks. It's been a week since we last spoke, so I'm wearing the same shirt.
Yeah. Well,
Your eyelashes look unfamiliar. I've never seen them before.
Oh, you may not recognize me because I don't have my eyelash extensions anymore. Soon I'll have
thought, who is that person?
Jessica's evil twin.
So what are we talking about today, Jessica's evil twin?
Eyelashes. No, today we're going to talk about what we couldn't talk about last time, which was we started talking about leadership in a crisis. And I want to talk about how you stay true to mission and vision and core values, even though the world outside has changed so dramatically. Before we do that, why don't you introduce yourself to people who haven't met you yet?
Yeah, that is a wonderful idea. So I'm Kevin Ring of Hot Dog Marketing. I'm Director of Strategy here. Jessica is our wonderful owner and one of the most strategic marketing minds I've known. We help small and mid-sized businesses achieve their growth goals through insight-driven, creative, and messaging. And it's a lot of fun. So, this is part 2 of our series on leadership in a crisis. Really just a chance for us to connect with our audience and just make sure that we're all going to get through this together, but also to see how we can come out the other side even better off. And so
I love it.
Excited to be here.
So why should we talk about mission and vision and core values right now? Like, shouldn't all of that stuff just kind of go out the window and us work in urgent emergency mode for the next couple of months and just throw all the plans that we had out and start over?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think honestly, we don't even need to talk about that stuff. Who cares? So we're talking about leadership in a crisis, right? And so we're in the middle of this pandemic, and your business is being affected in ways that you hopefully weren't able to anticipate because this is really weird times, but hopefully also ways that you can respond to and come out of. And for us, we want to kind of think about what successful leadership looks like in this time, because not only is this a time to really be a leader in your company, in your community, but it's a chance too for you to really lead your customers to meet their needs. And for me and for us, the core part of that is really who you are. And that we sum up in what we call, and everyone else calls, mission, vision, core values. So mission is really your value proposition. What are you committed to? It's the statement that helps everyone understand this is what we're about. Values are the guide rails for how you do business. It's what anyone would expect in terms of interacting with you. And vision is, what is the world going to look like once you're done, once you've achieved your goal of really impacting your customer, transforming them for the better? So mission is really, I think, the key to this, because if you don't have a clear sense as to what you're about, it's really easy, I think, to Jessica's point, to feel lost right now. The world is changing. There's a lot of stress. And so if you're not anchored by a true understanding of who you are, how you create value, who you create value for, and what that value looks like, then you're probably going to carry this stress throughout this whole period and not really be intentional on laying any sort of foundation for success or for growth.
I mean, I can't imagine facing a situation like we're in currently without having some sort of framework in which we operate our business so we can stay consistent.
Yeah.
I come from a corporate background. And so I was partly jaded and I thought mission statement, because in big corporations where you're kind of a faceless employee, like sometimes that just doesn't mean anything, right?
Yeah.
And my husband comes from a tech startup where it felt kind of artificial. But then when we got into this business and we started really hitting our growth stride and we're trying to do more, it actually had an employee, our creative director, Brandon, who asked, why are we doing this? Like, where are we going? How big are we going to grow? He had all these questions because he was so invested in the company, but I hadn't done any of the kind of foundational work. And you really helped with that a few years ago. And I think it's made all the difference for us. So I'm glad we're talking about it.
Yeah. No, I love it because I agree. I think mission statement is one of those things where you hear it and you're like, yeah, but why? Okay,
why would I do this?
Statement is to have all of the children in the world dance while drinking a Coke or whatever it is. It's always pretty cool. I don't know your mission statement. For me, though, again, it really comes down to value. It anchors you around value. And I mean value in how am I making my customers better, right? Because that's the foundation of your business. If you can't claim and back up with evidence the fact that you will make your customers better, then everything you do is going to be a struggle. Sales are going to be a struggle. Marketing is going to be a struggle. Operations are going to be a struggle. Customer support is going to be a struggle. You're constantly insecure about what impact that you have, and you can't actually do what you're made to do in business. So let me try and do this, see if I can impress you all. Hot Dog Marketing, our mission statement is, actually, I'm just kidding. I'm going to read it. Hot Dog Marketing partners with forward-thinking businesses to provide solutions for the next phase of growth. Our mission is to build trusting relationships with great entrepreneurs and companies and enable their customers to see what makes their business stand out.
See, if you had it memorized, I was going to give you a bonus. But now you read it, so I guess you missed out on an opportunity.
Oh no, that seems like such a real thing for me. No, I really love this one because I work with Jessica and Brandon and Kathy, who's our marketing director, and went through a process to really figure out who it is, not just to write the statement, but to craft the statement based on what's true. And so I'm going to talk us through an exercise real quick to help you understand who you are. And again, I just really want to, before I jump into that, reinforce that this should be something that you know and believe in. There's a reason why you do business. If the reason why you do business is to make money and that's it, then by all means, like you do you. But the companies that we work with, and hopefully the companies who are watching this, our audience, are companies that are in a place where they've discovered that they are in a uniquely positioned to really dominate their markets. And that what they're experiencing is what Jessica expressed that she experienced, is you start to hit your stride and growth comes from that. So for us, it really does start with, okay, what is that stride? Why are you really great at what you do? So we're also going to have a downloadable. So we'll make sure that the link is included in this for you guys to take this away. And
you said it out loud, so now we have to make it happen.
Well, I just assume Neil will edit out anything that I promise. Jessica will come to your house and hand deliver a piece of paper.
With gloves and a mask on.
I really can't make those kinds of commitments these days. That's like, I think you can get arrested for that. Anyway, Jessica, I'm trying to talk about mission. All right.
Okay, let's get back to it.
3 simple questions. Who, how, and what? That's it. Just do that. No, I'm kidding.
So who you serve with your company or your product or your services.
Yeah. So you don't have to have a laser focus, but if you don't know who actually values you and what you're capable of doing, right? So if you're an engineering firm and you specifically work with public utilities, then we help public utilities. If you help public utilities in cities of over 1 million population, just that level of refinement of who is our audience. And the really great thing about narrowing that down is that it'll help your sales, it'll help your marketing, it'll help you pay attention in this time to who really needs you.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of needs out there, and by no means don't hold back from helping. But focusing on who you're meant to serve, who your services best are utilized by, that's the who, right?
And, we have a lot of clients who say that they have a very wide, diverse audience and have a hard time narrowing in on maybe something more specific. And I will always say, you're better to position yourself strongly to a very specific audience than to have kind of general positioning, because it's very confusing for your customer. Can you speak to that just a little bit? And we might have to do a whole other blogcast on this topic on its own. But
Part 2A. Absolutely. So if you want to get that laser focus, ask your team, because you as a leader are going to be very distracted by your history, by all of the time and energy you've spent into trying to figure out how to make this business work. Ask your team this question: what was the best example of our company at its best that you can think of? And once they've got that in their mind, don't try and shape it in any way. Don't give them anything more to go off of. Ask them who that client was. And that's your client. That's your target, right? Because there's something about being in that stride where you're doing your best work that is intangible, but really points to, once you identify it and begin to understand it, it points to the conditions of who you work well with. And if you don't believe me, think about dating.
Yeah.
If you cast a wide net with dating, you get a lot of dates, but you never make any progress. You don't get any
And you're going to be
traction.
Miserable most of the time on those dates, right?
And if you try and come at it from I really like this type, then you're going to be very pushy and very focused on one thing. But if you think about it from the perspective of I really had a lot of fun with this person, whether or not it was a romantic date or not, it helps you really understand that relationship that is going to be mutually beneficial. So when did we do our best work? All right. So then the what? So within that, once they've identified the best work, okay, what did we do in there, right? Because a lot of companies, especially when you're growing, are doing whatever they can to meet the needs of their clients. So in those moments where it's really doing our best work to really understand, okay, what aspect of our business model was it that really contributed to that great experience? And you'll probably get multiple answers in this, right? Because like a company like us, we have 3 main service areas, strategic research and discovery, digital marketing, and creative services. We mix and match those services all the time, depending on what the needs of the client are. So it's okay if you get a lot of answers, but really what this is doing is it's helping you understand specifically what it is about the company, the client, the interaction that was valuable, right? It also helps to narrow in on those secondary aspects. So what it was about the direct client relationship, right? It was great because they didn't have a lot of questions. It was great because, they really appreciated the work that we did. Like for us, when we were going through this process, we really love it when clients appreciate marketing, and I'll just say this for the sake of saying it this way, don't want to do it. Because it's a learning curve for them. And they really will ultimately someday benefit from having a great marketing team. But right now, we get to be that great marketing team at a fraction of the cost. It creates a great relationship. So that's the what. What are we doing with them?
You know what I really like about the what is it reminds me of, I watched Bob Iger's masterclass. He's the
Hmm.
chairman of Disney.
Yeah, for Disney. Yeah.
And he defined branding as the relationship you're building between the company and the customer. And so when you talk about what, it really reminds me of why understanding your mission is critical to having a good brand for a company, period. It's not just the
Yeah.
employee side of it, but how that informs how you market the outside of your company as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Brandon, our creative director, says that branding is the relational aspect of your business model, which I love, because the business model is really the equation for creating value. And how you interact with someone on all the levels is really what that is. So yeah, great point.
Yeah.
So the last question, the how, is really about transformation.
Yeah.
How is the company better off after having worked with us? Because in those, and again, go back to that same story of, tell me the story about the best work that we've ever done.
Yeah.
You can ask that question as a follow-on. How is the client better? Right? Not how are we better, but how is the client better? You begin to touch into really the key aspect of value, which is what the mission is pointing you towards, which is the client's need. A lot of us define value by what we do, right?
Yeah.
So I do strategy, which means that I think about things and I come up with tactics and things like that. Y'all don't care about that. Y'all care about the fact that you're overwhelmed, and then after you work with me, you feel confident in the direction that you're going. You don't care how we do it. That's my job. I take you through that process, but the transformation is to take that uncertainty, that fear, that insecurity, and to transform it into confidence and a plan of action, right?
Yeah.
So that's the how are they better? How did we make their world better by working on us? And that's your mission. We help these types of companies achieve this transformation, right? Achieve their growth goals, achieve efficiency, whatever that is, by here's how we work. This is it. And it ends up being a pretty straightforward process, but it's great because it especially in these times, it's such a great reminder of what is really your secondary priority. So your primary priority is you, your health, and your company's health, right?
Right.
In crisis, we a lot of companies, I think, have been dealing with this. Make sure that you're okay, that you put the air mask on yourself before you put it on someone else, right? Everybody knows from getting on the plane. But the second part of that is, okay, now that you're in this time where things have settled down, you've figured out how to work in this environment, how are we going to focus on who we are specifically, uniquely equipped to help? And that's what your vision, that's what your mission statement does. And your vision in this time should be aligned with what your desire is as a company. We want to continue to operate well, serve well, and create the best experience for our customers. And granted, that looks different now, but if you don't understand that foundation, you can't move forward effectively in these times.
Yeah, I was thinking, and maybe this is what we do for the next episode, but our vision is to be the go-to marketing agency for growing businesses. And I think we are done a great job in the last few years positioning ourselves that way and getting to that point. So when the crisis happens, and we know the world is flipping upside down for a lot of our clients, us coming up with just this blogcast idea and the other things that we're going to be rolling out for resources is really our attempt to continue towards that vision, but during a very specific time. And nothing else has really changed, right?
Yeah.
It's just, how do we tailor, knowing our client, who we know who they are, let's tailor what we do so well more specifically to help them during this time.
Yeah.
So.
And I think one thing that's really great, and I'll talk about our company, because Jessica is obviously our leader, and she carries the weight of this company. She carries it really well. But if you have a well articulated and agreed upon mission statement, and I don't mean, printed on a nice canvas hanging on your wall. I mean, something that your company really can rally behind and believe in, then you really are going to be excited about the work that you do.
Yeah.
Like, one of the great things for us in this time is that everyone's caring for each other and everyone's making sure that we're okay and we're adapting really well. But we are on fire for how do we help people in this time? Because these are unique challenges and unique times. And everybody, down to our office manager, is really excited to do this. And I think it's just such a great benefit of doing work that you believe in. And that's what a good mission statement is about.
And it makes coming to work a lot easier, even in the worst of times, to know that everybody's fired up about doing their best.
You keep talking about coming into work, but that's not.
I know, we're not
no
really.
one comes into work anymore.
Just trust me on this, Kevin. When you come into work finally, you don't know what that feels like. So I think next episode, let's talk about how because we serve service-based businesses. So let's talk about how these companies can figure out how to be leaders in their industry and in their community during this time.
Yeah.
How they can stay positioned the way that they're trying to be, even though things have changed in the outside.
Yeah. And then I think after that, one of the other things too is great companies are in a great position to serve their community well.
Yeah.
And so I would love to, I think that's something that you do really well for Round Rock, where we're based. I would love to hear kind of your thoughts on that. So maybe that'll be part 16. I don't know when we're on. We talk a lot.
So many topics.
Y'all can download the, Neil, can we do this? If I point here, you put the link in? I'll put together, we got a little worksheet for you. Here, down here, Neil? That'll work. Oh, that's Neil, y'all. He's the best.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Kevin.
Oh, thank you. Work is so fun.
I know.
I love what we do, Jessica. I gotta stop. We gotta stop this video. I'm gonna start gushing. Y'all, we love y'all.
Yeah.
And I think Jessica and I both are getting a little stir crazy and really need to see you again and start having face-to-face meetings again. But it really is great being able to serve you.
Yeah, it's true. Well, thank you, Kevin.
Thanks, Jessica.
We'll see you in a little bit. Bye. Right. You hear my now? No.
I'm recording. That's great.
Me too. Yeah, it would be like a blooper reel.
On my recording, Jessica just showed up her nose, so put that one in your pocket. The blooper reel?
Yeah, he's done those before.
Yeah, I don't do bloopers though.
You don't do bloopers?
Yeah, they call me First Take Ring.
Oh man, I miss my eyelashes.
Oh, it's so funny.